What's going on, guys? Happy Leo season, and we're in the Virgo moon right now. So, in honor of that, we'll be doing a Virgo reading today. Damn. Oh. I gotta make that part of the routine and like setting this thing up. Alright, Virgo reading. I think I already done one of these before. I think it was the other day I did. So I'm gonna go to like page 3. Alright. Where the fuck the mouse at? Oh, right here. Leonard Bernstein. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but shit, we'll see after this once I play it back. But alright, here we go. See, bro, it's like every celebrity, or not every celebrity, but most celebrities have like that upper hemisphere, like 9th house, 10th house energy, 11th house energy. The first thing I noticed was like Uranus being opposite the Sun and Saturn. So it's very much so like his identity had like ties to being unique and an individual amongst a group of people, doing something like innovating, right? Like knowing how to implement innovation into his will, his ego, his the image of himself, what he wants to push out into the world, right? So it's probably like the balancing act of like implementing like new technologies and like innovations and like fucking what's up, like inventions, things like that, like implementing that into his like identity or whatever. And with Uranus opposite Saturn, that's like probably the restriction on like he probably was like kind of opposed to like new ideas or whatever that came into fruition in like that period of time when which he was growing up or living. Like the way in which he would structure himself and the way in which like the structure of like the family he was brought up in, like it was probably like inhibiting towards his ways of integrating that sense of individuality and rebelliousness. Like it inhibited that from being implemented into his own identity, right? Into the own way he viewed himself, into the own way like he wanted to interact with others. I don't think I'm gonna do this outside again, bro. This is fucking too many cars. But oh wow, the moon in Aries sextile that Uranus. So it's like the ways in which he was emotionally, like his internal world, it was like there was a sense of ease for him to like connect to that type of innovation he would like be picking up on, the type of innovation he would want to create, the type of innovation that like he might have been like quick to act on, like with that moon Uranus contact, quick to act on like impulses and change in an emotional way. So like being very driven to like act on like an idea or act on like I don't know, like they probably had like TVs at that time, 1918. I don't know if they had TVs then, but like maybe they did. I don't know. But like see like a commercial like some shit um, like only on TV. They'd be having like different like gadgets or whatever, like as like creation, right, innovation, right, Uranus type things. So like him having that sextile to the moon in Uranus, that's like him like seeing the potential for what that new idea could be used for, and like him connecting to that emotionally, right? Probably his I would say his mother would be like that, right? Because the moon represents the mother, right? And like, yeah, it kind of fits too with it being in the fifth house. Like, quick to act on like change, like a sporadic mother type energy, and that leads to like a sporadic type internal world. How you process things internally, your internal mother, right? There's a certain like reflection there, but between like the physical mother and the internal mother, the inside world. But with that being said, that also ties back to what I was talking about with the structures he came into the family, with the Saturn opposite Uranus, and then Saturn being sometimes associated with the father image, right? So it could probably be like even though the father was restriction of that, right, of like the Uranian type energy, it could play out like both those scenarios were happening in the home. Like the mother was sporadic and the father was like more I guess you could say disciplinarian and like structured, as opposed to the sporadicness, right? But then I don't even want to say like structured as in terms of like, I mean it could play out anyway, but I was saying because I wanted to go into that Saturn being in Leo. So like the restriction on like the self-expression, restriction and wanting to build things brick by brick in a sturdy manner, so that way the stage that is like wanting to know what like you would construct, wanted to know what you would express, so you construct it wisely. There, that's good. But yeah, it ties in because the wisely ninth house, and then the expression Leo and the Saturn construct. Okay, so with that quincunx between the Saturn and the Moon, that's like it could have been played out like physically between the Saturn being the father and then the Moon being the mother. Like as in like the quincunx is like the misunderstanding aspect, the nothing in common aspect. No, I'm doing that because it's like the 150-degree angle. Because it's not like opposite. It's like anyways, and then I was looking at it too, like there's something deeper going on too with that Saturn Moon connection, with because usually like the fifth house is the house of Leo, right? And then the Moon being there, and then Saturn being in Leo, right? I don't know, something right there. I can't put my finger on it yet though. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna look for something else. No, I can't put it down. I'm still thinking about it. Bro, you can go deep on that. I feel like. Alright, we'll keep breaking down on the ninth house. So like Venus in the ninth conjunct Neptune. That could be things of like playing out as compassion for like other cultures, other types of people that are different from you, and different from your upbringing, different from your surroundings, right? And like having like very high idealistic form of compassion for that. Like, really, that's kind of cool having Venus conjunct Neptune, with Neptune being the higher octave of Venus. So it's like, damn, I just thought about something. If Neptune is like the higher octave of Venus, right, and Mars and Venus are on like the same like sliding scale, that love hate, right? What is the relationship between Mars and Neptune then? If it all exists like on the same, like, I don't know, like, if it does exist on the same sliding scale, like, what is the relationship with that? Excuse me. But that's like, that'd probably be like having a hateful type belief system, a hateful type way of connecting with like the bigger picture of things, with like a hateful way of like connecting to imagination and things like that. That doesn't have nothing to do with the chart though. That was just like a little ramble, a side note. Damn, is this shit shaking? I almost put my hand on the table. But it probably took some time for him to be like the compassionate type person with that stuff playing out in the ninth house due to the Saturn being there. So it's like there is a restriction on like the type of experiences and travel needed to build that compassion type energy, because Saturn wanted it to be like really be like focused and like fine tuned, like a clear shot point, right? Damn, I just saw that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. I combined the word, I said Jupo. Pluto-Jupiter conjunction and Cancer. That's like, expanding on psychological things, expanding on like deep things, like probably like dramatic type like transformative experiences he faced in his life, like and maybe like an influx of them, like many of them come in at like a given time. And it's like pulling wisdom out from that like type of deep experiences. Things like manipulation, obsessiveness, just like deep transformative things that like take you into like negative emotions, like volatile emotions, things that get you riled up, right? Things that stir like a fight or flight aspect in you, things that stir like a survival instinct in you, right? You know, with that taking place in Cancer, it could be like having Jupiter exalted right there. Being emotionally connected to like the deep type of experiences and extracting the wisdom out of it to preach to the world or whoever. Maybe not to the world, but I mean maybe to the world. Yeah, with the sextile to Mercury and the Sun from that Cancer energy. could be to the world. And then but the reason I said not to the world at first was because it taking place in the eighth house. So that's like behind the doors, behind closed doors, behind the scenes type energy, like the your bathroom, your closet, things you don't want nobody to see, really. That's paint. I was painting earlier, but damn, I was about to say something too. Oh yeah, that that square from the moon to the Jupiter and Pluto, like it could play out like him being forced to emotionally connect to like those darker things that he experienced in life. It could be like, I'm getting this, like something played out like the abuse of power, Pluto, when it comes to like religion and philosophy and like idealistic ways of, ideal ways of thinking, like ways of like moving in the world. So it could maybe be like he like was abused by like somebody that held like a position of authority, like held like a Jupiterian type position, like a teacher or like some type of like lecturer or something, right? And then through those experiences, he was forced to like pay attention to that with that square to the moon. And really like venture into like his own psyche and like and emotions, and be like, why did that happen? Like, what does that mean about me? What is how did it happen? And through all that, like having like deep feelings of like anger and like probably misplaced anger. Yeah, especially with that Mars in the 12th. Oh, that's good that he has that North Node in Sagittarius. That's good. Because then through like his like journey of like figuring out stuff like in his own internal world, and like the way he like structures himself in the world in terms of like presenting himself with like connecting to other types of cultures and being like a compassionate figure like towards things that he doesn't know. Wow, that's actually kind of cool, because the moon Pluto could play out like wanting to stay the same, like not wanting to change, being like because we're all, as humans, we're all like creatures of habit, but like the moon Pluto is like being stuck in those habits and like not wanting to change because you found a comfort space in that like little soup of emotions that you like are naturally in from like the type of traumatic experiences that was faced in life. Oh yeah, and then all that stuff I was talking about earlier with the mom and the dad. Shit, that probably correlates because due to the fact of his Chiron being in the 4th. But really, I've been wanting to get into is it equal houses or whole sign? I think it's whole sign houses, like more Hellenistic. It's because like I know, I heard people talk about it. Like, it seems like, because the houses are playing differently than it is right now. Like, will some be bigger than the others? But I mean, it will still like read almost like similarly, right? It's still the same like energies being depicted. But anyways, back to this. Yeah, that Chiron in the fourth in Aries, making a loose conjunction to the moon. And, you know, Chiron conjunct moon, that could be like having issues around mothering, having issues around connecting to the emotions, having issues around connecting to the feminine, having wounding around that, having wounding around honoring your emotions, your feminine energies. Could play out physically as well. It could be like anytime that the emotions are tapped into, like the feeling realm is tapped into, like it brings up like those woundings that had been experienced in his home life as a child. And like his exertion of expression, like his will to move forward, with it being in Aries. You know, that kind of ties into that ninth house, with that restriction on expression, and like wanting to be like all structured before you express something, wanting to be like wanting to know like everything is 100% accurate and there's no like shakes in the building to which you're about to present. No, the Sagittarian energy is good for him, like with all that ninth house energy, and then his North Node being in Sagittarius. And I was saying that too before I had this thought before I said that. The reason that prompted me to say that thought was because of the Venus-Neptune conjunction. It like softens up that Saturn right there. So like the more like he is probably being compassionate towards like his own ways of seeing the world and like other people's ways of seeing the world, the more easier it would be to construct that type of thing he wants to make sufficient and like strong and sturdy, with Saturn being there. And like it'll ease that process up. So like really tap into that like appreciation type energy for like others, appreciation type energy for like original type viewpoints and things like that. It might be a little hard to tap into that due to Saturn being there, but like once it is tapped into, that compassion energy, like appreciation type energy, I'm getting like, so Saturn being there, it's like having the concrete, right? With the dry concrete, you only got one little jar of water, right? But you got a big ass bag of concrete. All these like rules and like structures and like things that you feel like you have to meet the requirements for, things that like you see other people like, or other structures in the world that like they have this and this and this, so you think you have to have this and this and this, right? And that's all like the dry concrete, right? It's heavy, like no fluid in it, like it's just because you can't build nothing with that, it's gonna fall apart, right? There's no like connection to it, right? But then that Venus Neptune there, that's like taking that little jar of water you have and like expanding it with like the ability to like imagine and be appreciative for like other people's viewpoints and things like that, other cultures like ways of seeing things, and like probably like appreciating the imagination and like the different places you could go with it, and like using that as like the water and connection for like the big ass bag of cement you got, big ass dry bag of cement you got, of like rules and like regulations and like deadlines and like different support beams you have to put in place to like structure up the building that you wish to create. Saturn. That is the expression you want to push out. So just a little analogy right there. But you know, that Mars in the 12th is interesting. Squaring that energy. Because that's like, because 12th house, that deals like the things that are slippery, unconscious, dreamlike, imaginative, right? That plays into like what I was talking about too, like having appreciation for like the imagination and stuff. But Mars being there, that's like the what you desire, like the things that like move you forward, the things that push you to do things, like your drive to like actually get up and do something. So with like it being in the 12th house, it's probably like an unconscious drive to explore those types of like Venusian and Neptune type things, like art, like food, could be fashion, just things that are pleasing, right? And also from other cultures too, with it being in the 9th house. And then like all that type of energy would just of like love and appreciation for like art, fashion, foods, but there's more there. But anyways, like having that be like an unconscious drive, like to go for those things and like appreciate those things and like get to the deep roots of it with the Mars being in Scorpio, like that's like a major propeller for him. But it could be like, I want to say it's hard to tap into that energy just because of the fact it's being in the 12th house. I've heard Gemini Brown say this, that like people with like 12th house energy like are here to learn compassion, are here to learn like what it means to connect to others in like a loving type of way. You know, and I would say he set up his chart pretty well for that. Due to that 9th house, 12th house square, and all the planets he has in there. Like it's not like sextiles playing out where like he could do that or he could like slip back into like something else that like takes him away from it. It's like, nah, like his spirit set up his energies for him to be like, well, you're gonna either like go in, or you are going to be going into this type of circumstances for you to do this, right? For you to like learn to appreciate things that like are from other cultures and things like that. Once you work out the Moon and Pluto contacts right there, like once you deal with like your own internal type things, and then all of that coming through the Sun in Virgo on the midheaven, conjunct in Mercury, somewhat. It is. But what does that mean coming through that? This is a very knowledgeable person. Knowledgeable in the fact of like you know how there's people that can like cherry pick things out of different cultures, or like as like people that's like what we all do pretty much. We like cherry pick things that we like out of different cultures to like make our own self, right? This person is very into that with like, and like not just like doing something, picking up something from a different culture, and like for the reason of it like looking cool, right? It would be like he would know like why it's being used, how it's being used, and like the best way to use it with all that Virgo energy, right? Like they knowing everything about it and like researching it. Nice. Yeah, and then having that Mercury sextile to Jupiter and Pluto. That's like him having the mental capacity to go into like his unconscious, his like psyche and shit like that. Having the ooh. But he has to take that opportunity, right? Like it's there for him, but he still has to dive into it. Cause he could like, with that sextile, he could stay on like the surface level of like Jupiter and Pluto. So basically, that would be like, the Jupiter would be like sticking to like the like sticking to the experiences he goes into at like face value, like not deriving a deeper meaning for himself, like just taking what somebody says as like fact or whatever, right? I take that back, because the Mercury Pluto contact naturally want to dive deep, naturally want to like probe and things like that. Nah, I do take back the take back, because like while that's being true, like you could dive deep into areas that like aren't deep, you know. I mean, like what I'm trying to say is like with that Mercury Pluto thing, they could be like diving deep into like sex and like taboo things and like I don't know, like BDSM shit, like things that are like not so like, I mean, I guess those types of things are like psychological, right? But in terms of like, actually I'm gonna take that all that back, because like I was about to say like in terms of like developing the self, but like who's to say being into those type of things aren't self-developmental to like a type of person, right? I don't know, that's something I have to look more into. But anyways, while I was describing that, I also saw the Mercury quincunx to the moon. So it's like the ways of like his mental processing and like his ways of like grasping things on an instant, like isn't really the way in which he reacts to things in an emotional way. So it's like, or like it could have been things of like him not like understanding his mother, right? Because the king comes to was like not understanding whatever, yada yada, all that stuff. And then that Mercury being sextile to Mars, that would be like excuse me, like being able to use his words as like weapons, things like that. But you see, with that Mars in the 12th though, it would be like that would play out unconsciously, kind of like he probably like would knew his words could cut, right? Mars Mercury, words that cut. But he might not have known like the place that which like they were coming from, like the type of like like anger that he just had like unconscious to him that had just been in the back seat, right? That was like whispering in the driver's ear, you know, like especially with the King Kong, with that Mars King Kong's the moon, and then sex out to the sun. So like the moon and Mars are like, damn. The moon and Mars are like doing two different things, right? But it's kind of the same though, due to the fact of it being the Aries Scorpio King Kongs, and like having to deal with like desires and like passions and like wanting to conquer something, wanting to I want to say really be safe too, like knowing it has somewhere to go to after the battle. That's the vibes I'm getting from that, with that moon, Mars, King Kongs right there. You know? And then coming out through the sun in Virgo, that could play out like somebody that won't stop talking, like in order to find that home. Right? Cause like the King Kong's energy is like that like misunderstanding, the not understanding part. So I feel like it would be like that type of energy of like throwing shit at the walls, seeing what sticks. That's kind of how I see Virgo energy. Not even gonna lie, like just in general, like if it's like an uninformed Virgo, like where they don't know like what they're really talking about, it's just like throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. But oh yeah, that North Node in Sagittarius. That ties into like all that stuff I was saying about like him like setting up. I think I already explained that. Him setting up his souls, his chakra systems, his energies for himself to be like to learn how to be compassionate, things like that. I think that's the main takeaway from this chart. Learn how to be compassionate with the self and other, and show appreciation to like not even just the other as in like other as like one person, but other as in like the whole world type energy, like being like having love for the world, having love for different cultures, having love for like different ways of being that are not your own, which I'm pretty sure I already said. But yeah, that's what I'm getting from this chart. It was pretty cool to read. You know, I kind of like reading other charts because like it's cool to see how like energy can be configured and like different connections you can make like while you're reading that, and being like, oh, maybe that could apply to me like in like this other type of area that like I deal with like for my own chart. But yeah, this was I think this is chart reading number 9. I don't know why I was looking like I had the number right there, but yeah, this has been chart reading practice number 9 of Leonard Bernstein. Oh, I didn't even say like what I thought he was. I would say like a journalist of some sort, somebody that like shows appreciation for things, especially with that Mercury being in Virgo in the 10th house, being known for or making a career out of the way he like thinks and communicates and like writes and things like that. And it being close to the midheaven too. So yeah, let's see what he is. American composer, conductor, author, music, lecturer. Bro, did I say music when I was talking about Venus, Neptune? Bro, that's what I was saying. There was more to it. I just like, it wasn't in my mind right then. Note for self. I gotta figure out the ways to be more together in that aspect. But yeah, Yeah. All right. Damn, that music is like the travel energy too. Because when you listen to music, like it takes you to another place. That's ninth house, and like oh, and then Saturn, the structure. Like, what do you need to be a composer? You need to know structure. You need to know how to like construct different notes and things like that. And then that what I was talking about, like the Venus Neptune conjunction being the water, the emotion, like the type of imagination, the feeling that like fuels that structure that he would need. Anyways, now I'm just trying to make it fit. But yeah, this has been, I think, chart reading practice number 9. Chart reading practice number 9, and then he has that all that ninth house energy. Okay. Sagittarius North Node. Chart reading practice number 9. If you made it this far, thank you for watching.